Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. I hope that you guys are all doing really well. So for today's video, I've got a review for you guys, and it is going to be on the new Milani foundation. This is the Milani Conceal Perfect 2-in-1 foundation and concealer. This is a foundation that recently launched at the drugstore, and a lot of people have been talking about how much they really like it. So of course I had to go ahead and pick up one to review for you guys, because I know that since I have very oily skin, I am the perfect person to test out these types of products on my skin, just to let you guys know if it will be a good, pick for you if you have really oily skin like I do. So I'm really excited to review this product for you guys, because if you've been following my channel for a while, then you already know how obsessed I am with Milani as a brand. So I'm really excited to, show you guys how this has applied on my skin and just let you guys know my thoughts and opinions about it. If you are new to my channel, please make sure that you go ahead and click that subscribe button. Go ahead, just pause this video, click it right now, I'll wait. So hopefully that was enough time for you to go ahead and click that button, and what that will do is of course add you to my fam here on YouTube, and it will also make sure that you are the first to know anytime that I upload a video in the future, and it's free, so you might as well just go ahead and click it, girl. Just go ahead and click it. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. If you want to see me review anything else, feel free to leave it down below in the comments. And if you would like to know my opinion about this new Milani foundation, then please keep watching. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump into the review. First things first, if you've been watching my reviews, you guys already know we're going to start with packaging. So this is the packaging of the product, which I think is really cute. It's in a glass bottle, which I really appreciate. I think that's very luxurious and definitely a step up for a drugstore product. I always love when drugstore products take the time to package their products really nicely. Even though it's at the drugstore, I really appreciate that. So, of course, on the front it says Milani and the name of the product. It also has the shade listed on the front as well, and it kind of fades from a black into the actual shade of the foundation inside of the bottle, which I think is really nice, chic, luxurious packaging. So when you take the top off, it does have a pump, which, girl, thank you. I really appreciate that there is a pump on this. I always appreciate when brands put pumps on their foundations, either pumps or make them like the squeezy tube type, because it just makes it so much easier to dispense the product, and it also keeps you from wasting so much product when it doesn't have a pump. So I really appreciate that Milani took the time to place a pump on their foundation. High five to you, Milani. Yes, I really appreciate the pump. So as far as price, this product retails for $9.99 at the drugstore. You can find it anywhere that Milani is sold, and I believe as of right now that is going to be at your Walmart, your CVS, your Walgreens, or online at MilaniCosmetics.com. This foundation also comes in 14 shades, and the shade that I picked up is 0910, which in my opinion I think matches me very well. I do have it all over my face right now, which of course I'm going to show you guys a demo in a few minutes. But yes, it comes in 14 shades, and this one is 0910, and as I said, it matches me very well. Once I apply all of my other products and set it and whatnot, it matches me really great. So the claims for this foundation, there are a couple of claims that I want to, go ahead and mention, and I'll let you know later on in the video whether or not I agree. But some of the claims that this foundation has put out there are that it is full coverage, which, I mean, that's to be expected since it's supposed to be a foundation and concealer in one. It does say on here that it's supposed to be full coverage. It's supposed to be water resistant, no mess, of course, with the pump. That is supposed to provide you with a flawless look and also a natural finish. So those are some pretty strong claims for a drugstore foundation, but, I'm going to let you know what I think about that. But before I get into my thoughts and opinions about whether or not I agree with the claims, I do want to go ahead and just let you guys know a little bit about how I apply the product. So I have been wearing this product for a couple of weeks now. I purchased it probably about a month and a half to 2 months ago. Milani was really sweet and sent me like a little package of a couple of their new products that recently came out, but the foundations that they sent me were very light. I'm not sure, maybe they got mine mixed up with somebody else's, because I mean, it wasn't even close. So I did go out and actually purchase the foundation in my correct shade, because I did really want to try it out and review it for you guys. So as with any other foundation, you guys know that I am very, very oily. So it doesn't matter what the foundation claims, I'm always going to prep and prime my skin. So in the demo that you guys will see, I did go ahead and start with freshly washed and moisturized skin, and I did go ahead and prep with my normal primers. I applied a pore minimizing or pore filling primer, and I also applied an oil control primer. That's standard for me regardless, because with my oily skin, it's just, there's no exception. So after that, I did apply the foundation with a beauty blender. Over the course of the past couple of weeks, I have applied it with a brush and a beauty blender. And I do find that when you use like a kabuki style type brush, the foundation applies beautifully with either or, whether you use a brush or you use a beauty blender. If you decide to use a brush, I do suggest that you use kind of dabbing motions, because that is going to help to prevent the foundation from looking streaky. But I do find that I get a little bit of a better, more flawless finish with the beauty blender. But I think that's pretty much with any foundation. You're going to get a little bit of a more flawless finish with the beauty blender. But beauty blender or brush, it applies beautifully. So let's go ahead and get into my thoughts and opinions about this product, my pros and my cons. So I will go ahead and start with my pros, the positive things, because I mean, hey, there are a lot of positive things about this product, and I always love to start with the positives. So first things first, the packaging. As I've already went on and on about in the beginning of the video, I do really love the packaging. I think the packaging is very luxurious. I really appreciate that it is glass packaging, and I really appreciate the pump. So they get 2 thumbs up from me when it comes to the packaging. I also really appreciate the shade range. As I mentioned, there are 14 shades, and I think that Milani did a really great job of including really great shades for women of color, because a lot of times when you go to the drugstore or really anywhere to purchase a foundation shade and you are a woman of color, it can be very, very difficult to find your foundation shade without having to purchase like 2 foundations and mix them together, or without ending up having something that's too red or too warm or too cool. Like you guys know. So I do really appreciate that they did a really great job with the shade range. Milani is a brand that caters to multicultural, diverse women. So, I mean, had they not done that, I would have been like, no, Milani, come on now. But they did a really great job with catering to all different skin types across the board, and really trying to make sure that there was a shade that would match everyone. And as I mentioned, mine is in 09 Tan, and it matches me perfectly, which almost never happens with a drugstore foundation. So the next thing that I really appreciate about this foundation, and one of their claims, was that it is full coverage, and it is full coverage. As you can see, and as you saw in the demo, I did not apply any color correcting products, which I normally do. If you watch my videos, you guys know I normally apply a color corrector underneath my eyes. I did not apply anything, just to really show you guys all of the dark spots and, you know, dark circles that I have on my eyes and redness that I get around my nose. I really wanted you guys to see the actual product do its thing. So it's definitely full coverage, and it definitely is buildable. Now the only thing though is that it can be a little bit thick and it can be a little bit sticky. So I would be careful with how much you apply, because it can start to look a little bit cakey. But it does build nicely, it does cover, and it does provide you with really great coverage. So I do agree with those claims. And along with that, it does provide a really nice, beautiful, flawless finish. I think it looks really nice on the skin. It settles really nicely on the skin, and it doesn't oxidize or change colors throughout the day, which I really appreciate. Also too, I do find that this foundation mixes really well with other foundations. So if you are the type of person that likes to mix and match and create your own concoctions of foundations, I have found that this mixes really well with other foundations. Specifically, my L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Foundation. The two of those together, girl, is bomb. So if you are one of those people that likes to mix and match, this mixes really nicely with other foundations. And all of the products that I applied on my face on top of the foundation did apply really nicely. So now let's go ahead and move on to my cons. I don't have a ton of them, but I do want to mention them to you because I do think that they are important. So the first one, as I mentioned, when you apply the foundation onto your face, it is a little bit sticky. And I think that that just may be because it is a full coverage foundation. And maybe that's not why. I may have just made that up. But it is a little bit sticky on the skin when you apply it to your face. You have to set it with a powder. When you set it, when you apply your other products on top and you set it with a powder, it does not have that sticky feel to it. But when you initially apply it to your face, it is very, very sticky. So that is one thing that I will mention. Another thing too is that it's not an amazing foundation for oily skin. So I knew that I wanted to film this review for you guys. So 2 days ago, I did wear this foundation to work all day long because that's, you know, my typical environment is, you know, going to work or just being out in the elements. And I wanted to really be able to provide you guys with a really thorough and good review. So I wore this foundation to work. It applied really nicely. It looked beautiful on my skin. I applied it around, I'm done with my makeup around like 7:15 in the morning. I went to work around 11:30. I had to blot my face. Now, it wasn't horrible, but about 4 hours later, I did have to blot my face. Now, one thing I will say about this foundation is that sometimes with foundations, when I apply them to my skin and then throughout the day I have to go in and blot, they start to break up. This one did not do that. I did start to have some oil coming through on my skin. I took, you know, like a piece of tissue, like one square. I blotted my face and it was right back to looking just as flawless as it did when I applied it. So that's definitely a plus. But if you are really, really oily like me, and I wore this with my Becca Evermatte, my Evermatte primer, which you guys know is like the bomb primer for oily skin. I did wear it with that primer, which is like the best primer that I have for my oily skin that I own. And after 4 hours, I did have to blot. So I did want to mention that. Now, as far as it being water resistant, I did not test that because obviously I didn't pour any water on my face or anything like that. But just based on my oily skin, I would probably assume that it's not water resistant just because after I've had it on my face for 8+ hours, there are some places just from my oil where it will begin to break up, like right around my nose, and it will kind of start to settle in the lines on my face. So I didn't test the water resistant part, but I probably would not pick this as a foundation if I knew I was going to be getting wet. I probably wouldn't do that. And then the last thing, which is another thing that I already mentioned, is that it does have really nice buildable coverage, but if you go overboard with it, it will start to feel a little bit cakey on the skin. So overall, for the price and for a drugstore foundation, I would give this foundation probably between like a 7 and an 8. And that's not to say that this is not a good foundation. I would definitely recommend this foundation. If I knew of someone who was wanting to find something affordable that didn't want to necessarily pay like the L'Oreal price, but also could afford a little bit more than, you know, like a $4, $5, $6 foundation, I would definitely recommend this because I mean, I do think it's a really great foundation. It lives up to the majority of its claims. It applies beautifully on the skin. It does decent for oily skin. It mixes well with other foundations, which is a plus. So if you know that you're going to be out for a long time and you want to make sure that the foundation is going to last, you could always mix it with another foundation that you know is really great for controlling your oil, or you can just apply it with a really great primer underneath and you'll be good to go. You will have to blot throughout the day, but that's the norm for me, honestly. Being someone who has very oily skin, I have not found a foundation yet that I can wear throughout the day and not have to blot once. I mean, that's just the way it is. That's just how it is for us oily skin people. So you will have to blot, you know, within an 8-hour day, you'll probably have to blot about 2 to 3 times. But I mean, like I said, that's not really a major deal breaker for me. The major things for me are that it is full coverage because I am a full coverage kind of girl. It does give a flawless finish, which I am a flawless finish kind of girl, and my other products applied really nicely on top of it. So I do think that it's a great foundation. I would definitely recommend it, and if you are thinking about trying it out, I would definitely say go to the drugstore, pick it up, try it out, and if all else fails, you can always return it if you don't like it. But I personally will definitely be keeping this because I did and do really enjoy it as a foundation. Alright guys, so that is the end of this review. I do really hope that you enjoyed it and found it helpful. If you have any questions or if there was anything that I left out that you guys would like to know, feel free to let me know in the comment section down below. I will link the foundation for you guys in the description bar down below, which I always do. And I'm not sure, it would probably be a link directly to the Milani website just because I feel like that'll be the best place to go to get, you know, some more information about it and to see all of the shades and all of that kind of stuff. So I will leave a link for you guys down below to the Milani website, to the foundation, and I will also leave all the information about my shade and all of that kind of stuff. So like I said, if you guys think of anything else that I left out and you have any questions, let me know down below. But outside of that, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up. And if you're new, don't forget to subscribe on your way out. You can also find me on Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. All of those are FashionablyFayy, and I will leave them linked in the description bar down below as well. So thank you guys so much again for watching. I hope that you guys are all having an amazing day so far, and I hope to see you very soon in my next video. Bye, guys.